Hello and welcome to this week's lecture on the topic of externalities. My name is Mike Wenz and I'll be guiding you through the slides. Before we start thinking about externalities, I want to ask a question. Is equilibrium good? That is the market equilibrium that occurs at the intersection of supply and demand a good outcome in normally functioning private markets? Many times the answer is yes, and we can answer this question by thinking about consumer surplus and producer surplus. And note that the equilibrium level of output is that maximizes the grand total surplus for consumers and producers together. That is, consumer surplus and producer surplus combined is maximized at equilibrium in private, well-functioning markets. Equilibrium maximizes the total surplus. If we wanted to produce more than the equilibrium quantity, we would be producing items at a higher cost than their marginal value. If we stop short of producing the equilibrium quantity, then we're not taking advantage of all of the possible gains from trade. So, in that sense, in most private, well-functioning markets, equilibrium is a good outcome in that it maximizes total surplus. Sometimes it's not, however, and we're going to talk about several ways in the chapters to come about reasons why equilibrium might not be the best outcome. Markets can sometimes fail to maximize overall surplus due to a number of different cases, in particular when externalities are present, in markets for public goods, in markets where firms or buyers have some sort of market power, and in places where information and coordination problems stop a market from fully functioning or reaching the efficient level of output. The topic of this lecture, though, is externalities, and what we want to do first is to define an externality. An externality is a cost or a benefit imposed on a bystander to some activity. That is, there's somebody who's not a willing participant in the activity, but they're affected by it. They either suffer a cost or enjoy a benefit. As an example of a positive externality, I benefit when my neighbor keeps his lawn clean. If the houses in my neighborhood look nice, it raises my property values, and so when my neighbors cut their grass, I benefit indirectly. You can think about lots of different examples of positive externalities, and we'll talk about some a little bit later in the lecture. A negative externality is one that I incur due to the actions of my neighbor. When my neighbor's leaves blow into my yard, I suffer a negative externality when he doesn't rake. I'm a bystander to both of these events. My neighbor's lawn and my neighbor's trees are in his yard, and his decision on how to take care of his yard is borne by him. I'm a bystander. My costs and benefits do not enter into his decisions. He doesn't decide whether to mow his lawn because it would make me feel better, but he decides to mow his lawn because of his own preferences about how he likes his own yard. The same goes with his decision on when to rake his leaves, either before they blow into my yard or after.